The Tao of Self-Confidence, episode 795. Welcome to the Tao of Self-Confidence, where I share stories of amazing women who have discovered their inner journey to self-confidence. Visit our website at thetaoofselfconfidence.com. Your inner journey to self-confidence awaits. Well, hello, friend. Welcome to the Tao of Self-Confidence, where I share stories of amazing women who have discovered their inner journey to self-confidence. I'm your host today, Sheena Yap-Chan, and today I have a phenomenal lady on the show today. She's a freelance writer and blogger, and I'm really excited to have her on and share her story with us today on self-confidence. So without further ado, I'm going to introduce you to Amber Inthavong. Amber, how are you today? Maybe you can fill in a little bit more about yourself to the listeners.
Sure. I'm doing really well. I'm really excited. And I'm a freelance writer, newly published author, self-published a book, and I'm also an outdoor adventure blogger for my website, coloradocaribou.com.
Thanks for sharing that. And Amber, what's your cultural background?
My parents are immigrants from the country of Laos. So I'm a first generation Lao American.
Thanks for sharing that. And what'd be your favorite self-confidence quote?
I have a lot great self-confidence quotes that I love, but the one that really sticks with me is by Marie Forleo. She's a life coach and motivational speaker, and her quote is, "Show up in every single moment like you're meant to be there."
Thanks for sharing that great quote. And in your own words, how do you define self-confidence?
I thought about this, and there are so many different ways that I can define it, but for me, what makes the most sense is that first, you're owning up to who you are. In other words, embracing your complete self. And that sort of means like your culture, your upbringing, as well as all the decisions you've made, the fears you have, where you are right now, everything, accepting all of that and understanding it at 100%. And then it means allowing yourself to dream in an unapologetic way, to do all the hard stuff that comes with it, the failing, the rejection, kind of doing it all with the ability to get back up and do it again with no shame in your game. That is my belief of self-confidence, likely because it's just been in my personal experience.
Thanks for sharing that great definition. And, I like how you mentioned how confidence includes failing, rejection. Nobody really talks about that. And we all go through it. Sometimes we feel like we're the only ones who go through it, but we all go through rejection. We all go through failures, and it's all about, getting back up every time we fail or every time we face a roadblock or a challenge. So thanks for sharing that great definition.
Yeah. And I feel like there's this idea that a lot of women have that, oh, well, confidence is this polished thing, being able to stand up tall and have your chin up. But really, I feel like what backs confidence is having to fail and be rejected and just having no shame in that, and just like, pushing forward and having absolutely no shame in your ability to fall and just push forward.
I totally agree. So thanks for sharing that. And what was your life like before your discovery of self-confidence?
Yeah, so before self-confidence, I was this woman full of like 1,000 ideas and ambition, right? So I had all these ideas in my head, yet I was standing still privately in them, afraid to explore it more or execute it. And I know we've all met that person, right? Who like spends all their time just like talking the talk, and they're like talking about it until they're blue in the face, yet they're never doing a damn thing about it. And that was me. Before I pulled self-confidence into the equation, I was all talk and no action.
Thanks for sharing that. And I think we all go through that, especially as Asian women. We have all these ideas. We're so afraid to take action because we're afraid of maybe failure or what people might think about us. And we still have that seeking approval, not realizing sometimes you just need to let all that go and just go for it regardless of the outcome. I mean, sometimes it might not turn out the way you pictured it, but everything happens for a reason. And what was that point in your life when you realized you can go out there and be who you are today and have that confidence? What was that aha moment?
I was sad. I cried to myself about this life unfulfilled that I had. I was just confused because, here I am, this mom, this, great career. I was an MBA, but why was I so depressed? And it turns out I wasn't being 100 with myself. I wasn't pursuing what my heart desired, which was writing and connecting with the world in the way that I dreamed of. And just like what you said, it's like, it's limiting, right? We have, I'm like full of all these ideas, and then I'm just like limiting myself by just kind of keeping it to myself. And at the end, it was hurting me. So I needed to step back and say, wait a minute, it's my turn to do what I want. I already tried it everyone else's way, the way my parents wanted it, the way they told me it was supposed to be. And, I tried it out, was in the finance industry for like 9 years. And then I decided, it's my turn. And then that's when, I hit that bottom and I was like, okay, I'm not happy. I'm really sad. And I'm restricting myself, and so I went to work on that.
Thanks for sharing that. And I'm glad you're able to realize it. And, awareness is really the first step to figuring out how to get to confidence, right? Because if we don't know what the problem is, then we wouldn't know how to solve it. And, just when we have that awareness, we work towards finding a solution, right? Whether it's seeking, help, whether it's reading books, whatever it is, like, it's up to you to find the solutions. And, because of your realizations, what's your life been like now?
So I just wanted to take a brief moment and just, add on to what you're saying. It's just that awareness takes a lot of vulnerability. And, we're always like embarrassed to be like vulnerable about it, or embarrassed to be like, it's shameful to feel these things. But awareness is what's going to help you get that start. So I totally agree with what you said. Now, as far as what life was like after I discovered that, well, I finally pulled in that missing piece, right, of the equation. So once I had the self-confidence piece of the equation, it gave me results. I went both feet in. No one could tell me nothing after that. If someone said, I can't write for that magazine, I would. If someone told me I'm not as pretty as these other bloggers, I didn't care. If they said I couldn't write a book, too bad. I would find out and I would do it anyway. When someone said there was no way, I created a way for myself. I created a space for myself to be there. So after this discovery, I became relentless in this belief in myself that no one could change my mind. Because, it's kind of like I had enough. I had enough of like being told and being guided and what I was supposed to do. It was this kind of just belief that, okay, I have to pull this confidence into the equation, and I got to pair that with my ideas and ambition, and I got to execute it.
Thanks for sharing that. To the woman who's listening to your episode, she may be in her own journey to self-confidence. What would be that one tip you'd give to her?
I would say have unwavering faith in what you can do. Follow that through like your life depends on it, because it truly does. Regardless of, people, they might love it, they might hate it, but, they don't pay your bills, they don't define you. Their thoughts may be just small, narrow ideas, a box that they fit you into, because they might be afraid themselves. Where does it come from? It really doesn't matter. Why do they feel that way? It doesn't matter. But you matter, and you're responsible only for yourself, and you define what your life is going to look like. Without self-confidence, you're just going to stay right where you are. You will not be making any moves without it.
Thanks for sharing those great tips. And if our listeners wanted to get to know a little bit more about you and what you do and check out some of your work, is there any links or social media profiles we can connect with?
Yeah, I feel like a lot of the things that we talk about has a lot to do with, transforming yourself, right? Kind of looking at your environment and, how to be successful, and how to really own up and then believe in yourself. And I talk about a lot of that in my self-published book. It was the first book that I wrote. Really, really small book. It's a 100-page read, but it's called Glow Up: Transforming to Your Best Self. And it's available on Amazon. And I'm also on Instagram at Colorado Caribou. And that is my outdoor blog.
Thanks for sharing that. And to our listeners, if you want to connect with Amber, you can also head on over to the taoselfconfidence.com and search for Amber's name. Her show notes will pop up along with everything else that we talked about. And I really just want to thank Amber today for taking the time to share her story and tips with us on self-confidence. So thank you so much, Amber.
Yeah, you're welcome. Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Not a problem. It was really great having you on the show. And to our listeners, be on the lookout for another new episode of another amazing woman's journey to self-confidence, and we'll talk to you soon. Bye for now.
Bye.
Thank you for tuning in to another amazing episode of the Tao of Self-Confidence. Want to learn how you can use podcasting to market your business? Download your free report by visiting our website at thetaoofselfconfidence.com. Your inner journey to self-confidence awaits.